The command deck of the Varathan warship Crimson Talon hummed with anticipation. Commander Zekthara stood before the viewing port, his 4 eyes gleaming with triumph as he observed the small human vessel drifting in the void. It was damaged, leaking atmosphere from a dozen puncture wounds, its engines dark and cold. Pathetic, Zekthara clicked, his mandibles spreading in what his species considered amusement. The humans send us this? A broken toy? His second-in-command, Officer Vrel, shifted uncomfortably. Commander, intelligence reports suggest caution. The humans are unpredictable. Zekthara's laugh was a chittering sound that echoed through the bridge. Unpredictable? They are weak. Soft-bodied creatures who die if you puncture their thin skin. They need special suits just to survive in space. He gestured dismissively at the crippled vessel. Bring them aboard. I want to see these dangerous humans before we claim their colony world. 20 minutes later, 2 figures stood in the holding bay, surrounded by a ring of armed Varathan soldiers. James leaned heavily against the wall, blood seeping through a makeshift bandage on his shoulder. Beside him, Orla stood perfectly still, her green eyes scanning the aliens with an unsettling calm. Zekthara descended from the elevated platform, his massive form, nearly 8 feet of chitinous armor and corded muscle, towering over the humans. I am Commander Zekthara of the Varathan Dominion. Your colony will be harvested. Your people will serve or die, but first... He leaned closer to Orla. I want to understand why your species thinks it can resist us. Orla met his gaze without flinching. You're making a mistake. The commander's mandibles clicked rapidly, laughter. A mistake? Look at you. No exoskeleton, no natural weapons, no venom glands. You don't even have proper claws. He turned to his soldiers. Tell me, human, where are your weapons? How do you plan to fight? I don't have any weapons, Orla said simply. Zekthara's eyes widened in mockery. You have no weapon. How will you face us? Orla smiled then, an expression that made several Varathans shift nervously. I won't need any. Bold words for prey, Zekthara sneered. Show me then. Show me this legendary human resilience. Defend yourself. He gestured and 2 soldiers moved forward, energy staves crackling with power. James tried to push off the wall. Orla, don't... Stay back, James, she said quietly. Then to Zekthara. Your species evolved on a high-gravity world with toxic atmosphere. You're strong, resilient, impressive. She began walking forward slowly. But you know what humans evolved with? The first soldier swung his stave at her head. Orla ducked under it with fluid grace, her movements economical and precise. The second attacked from behind. She spun, grabbed his weapon arm, and used his own momentum to send him crashing into his companion. Endurance, Orla continued, barely winded. We evolved as persistence hunters. We don't have claws or venom because we don't need them. We just don't stop. Zekthara snarled and signaled for more soldiers. 6 moved in, forming a circle around her. What happened next would be analyzed in Varathan military academies for generations. Orla moved like water, fluid, adaptive, relentless. She used every surface, every weapon, every opponent's strength against them. A kick to one soldier's knee joint sent him sprawling. She caught his falling weapon and hurled it into another's eyes. When one grabbed her from behind, she dropped her full weight, slipped free, and drove her elbow into his thorax with surgical precision. You see, she said, breathing harder now but still moving. Humans aren't the strongest. We're not the fastest. She dodged a plasma bolt, rolled, came up inside another soldier's guard. But we adapt, we learn, we improvise. She grabbed a fallen energy stave, but instead of using it as a weapon, she jammed it into the deck plating. Sparks flew. The lights flickered. And most importantly, Orla continued, pulling herself up onto a cargo container as more soldiers rushed in. We never give up. You can wound us, exhaust us, knock us down, but we'll keep coming. Hour after hour, day after day. It's not about having weapons. It's about being one. Zekthara roared and charged forward himself, his massive arms reaching for her. Orla waited until the last possible moment, then dropped from the container. The commander's momentum carried him forward, and she used a hanging chain to swing up, wrapping it around his thick neck. She didn't try to choke him. His biology wouldn't allow it, but the sudden weight distribution threw him off balance. As he stumbled, she released, landed in a crouch, and swept his legs. All 8 feet and 300 pounds of chitin and muscle crashed to the deck. Silence filled the bay. Orla stood over the fallen commander, breathing hard, bruised but unbroken. Your species is impressive, Commander, truly, but you made a fundamental error. She looked around at the shocked soldiers. You assumed that because we're soft, we're weak. You confused our lack of natural weapons with inability to fight. She extended a hand to help Zekthara up, a gesture that surprised everyone. Humans don't need weapons because we are weapons. Every tool is ours to use. Every environment is ours to adapt to. Every challenge just teaches us something new. Zekthara stared at the offered hand, then slowly accepted it. As she helped him to his feet, he asked quietly, "How many of you are there?" "On the colony?" Orla's smile returned. "About 10,000. And how many are like you?" Orla glanced at James, who managed a pained grin despite his injury. "All of us, Commander. Every single one. Because that's what humans do. We survive, we adapt, and we overcome. With or without weapons." Zekthara looked at his soldiers, then back at the two humans. His mandibles clicked slowly, thoughtfully. "Perhaps we should discuss terms for a treaty instead." Orla nodded. "Now that sounds like a better plan." As they left the holding bay, James whispered, "That was insane." "That," Orla replied, "was human."